Good morning, YouTube. If you just watched my Huel Savory Meal video and you think this looks like the same video, it's not. It looks the same because I was taking that one just a few minutes ago and now I'm taking this one, but two different videos. This video is regarding Mary Ruth Liquid Multivitamin. Today I finished, no, yesterday I finished the bottle. I measured it out every day using a tablespoon, like an actual measuring spoon. Now, here's the thing. If you're measuring it using the spoons that come in your, knife and fork set, and you're like, hey, I have two different sizes, the small ones are teaspoons and the big ones are tablespoons, that's not true. Depending on who manufactures them, those tablespoons could be more or less than an actual tablespoon. They're called a tablespoon, but they're not an actual tablespoon. Chances are, some might be, chances are they're not. Very few are. So use an actual measuring spoon if you want to make sure that you get the right dosage every day. I did. I had an actual measuring spoon that I used only for liquid multivitamin, Mary Ruth's Morning Multi-Liquid Vitamin. Nope, that wasn't right either. It's early, okay? I had a legitimate tablespoon that I used to measure that stuff every morning. 2 tablespoons. Now, I mentioned this before. The flavor was just awful. So I started mixing it into about 4 ounces of Ocean Spray cranberry raspberry juice every morning just so I could gag it down. But I measured it every single morning. So the first thing I want to address is, does a bottle last a month? Bottle number 1 did not last a month. I checked. I went back and looked and was like, oh, I made this video on September 18th. It hasn't been a month. Bottle number 2 did not last a month. I actually wrote on the fridge when bottle number 2 started and it was less than a month. And yet, weirdly enough, bottle number 3 ended yesterday, which was December 16th. I started on September 18th. So September to October to November to almost December, it was like 1 day shy of a month because it wouldn't last until the 18th. It would last till the 17th. That would be 3 months. It didn't. It ran out on the 16th. So it almost made it 3 months. It was 1 day shy of 3 months. And I don't really know how bottle number 3 made up for bottle number 1 and 2, but somehow it did. So in my experience, the bottles maybe aren't packaged properly. I don't know how they're filling them, but weird shit happens. If you're thinking that they don't last a full month, it might be because you're not measuring them properly, or it might be because your bottle just was a little short. I don't really know. I thought for sure I was going to start out by, they do not last a month. And then I looked at the date and I was like, shit, what? How did that happen? I know I didn't skip any days. I know that no one else in the house was taking it, because it's just me and my husband, and he wouldn't touch anything mango with a 10-foot pole if you paid him to. So, yeah, I'm kind of baffled. Did it work? Let's find out. There's the after. Now, if you want to know what the before looked like, go and watch the day 1 video. I did the same thing, same part, pretty much the same place in the day 1 video. And you can compare and see if you think that it worked. I'll let you decide. I personally don't see a difference. I personally feel like my shedding has not changed. I personally don't see any new growth, or at least not a sufficient amount. And I personally, when I look in the mirror and brush my hair, feel like it's just as thin, if not thinner, than it was when I started. However, I decided that I needed an objective opinion, and my husband doesn't count because he's never going to tell me no. He's always going to do whatever he has to do to make me feel better about myself. So I went to ChatGPT. I took a picture from day 1 and I took a picture from yesterday. And I put them into ChatGPT and I was like, okay, ChatGPT, compare and contrast. And ChatGPT said that it could definitely see a difference. That it saw more fuzzy, small baby hairs around this area. And that it saw a thinner part area where it was like naked. So the line itself was thinner, not the hair. And that it felt like the hair had more luster around the part. take that with whatever grain of salt you will. But that was the objective opinion of an AI. I also asked ChatGPT if it's worth the money. And what it said was, is it a liquid multivitamin? Yes. Does it contain Lustrova? Yes. Is Lustrova proven to help with hair regrowth and reduce shedding? Yes, depending on what is causing your shedding. Hormonal shedding is included. So, for the most part, is it what it says it is? Yes. But is it worth the money? No. And here's why. ChatGPT sent me to Amazon to buy a huge ass bottle of Kirkland multivitamins and a bottle of Nature Made Lustrova, 1 month supply. The Kirkland multivitamin, that thing's going to last me probably 3 months. But the Nature Made Lustrova is a 1 month supply. Now, Mary Ruth liquid multivitamin with Lustrova is $70 a month plus. It's actually more than that. But the Kirkland multivitamin and the Nature Made Lustrova were about $30 for the month, for a 1 month supply. Less than that, actually, because the Kirkland is going to last more than a month. So I can get, according to ChatGPT, all of the same benefits from those two combined that I would get from the Mary Ruth liquid multivitamin for a lot less money. And I don't have to gag down a nasty liquid and buy juice in order to be able to gag it down. I can just take 2 pills in the morning with my coffee and call it done. Which for me is a lot better. Now I realize some people can't take pills. They make you nauseous or whatever. You can't swallow them. In which case, you got to do what you got to do what's best for you. Me personally, I have no problem taking pills, so I would much rather take a pill than drink something that tastes just horrible. To describe the flavor, now it's not just the mango. I don't like mangoes, but it's not just that. I can tolerate mango. Like I got mango spoiled child, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. But the Mary Ruth was just awful, and it's not just because it was mango. It's because it was also medicinally sweet, almost like cough syrup, but then there was also that vitamin flavor underneath it that like lasted on your tongue, that aftertaste. It was just really, really, really vile. So I had to mix it with juice every day in order to take it. I couldn't even stomach it. And I'm usually pretty good at, like, I can swallow MSM water, which if you've ever had is so nasty. But I grew up with a mother who did not care. It was like, if this is good for you, you're going to take it, and I don't care if it's gross. So I have a pretty high tolerance, and I ended up mixing the Mary Ruths with juice because it was that gross. So, sorry, Mary Ruths, don't sue me, but that's my personal opinion. And am I going to buy any more of it? Nope. I already bought the big giant bottle of Kirkland and the Nature Made Lustrova, and I'm just going to go that route instead and save myself some money. So there you have it. And let me know in the comments if y'all think it actually worked. Are you on Team Me, which says I don't really see a difference? Or are you on Team ChatGPT, which says absolutely there's a difference? You just aren't nice to yourself.